You know, I just realised all today's videos are popcorn. So here is a piece of steak for all you steak lovers after you've eaten your dessert. We're going to talk about immigrants. Welcome back to the show, ladies, gents and Pikachus. A little extra today. I wasn't going to make another video, but I thought, you know what, why not? It's been on my mind all day. So, the topic of today is refugees, immigrants, this country, that kind of thing, and the conditions in which we put them up, whether they're illegal, legal or otherwise. Now, I'm speaking as a middle-class guy in a nice, comfortable setting, yes. But don't be fooled, I didn't always live in this plush manner. No, I was once homeless. I still have the tent I used. It's a little bit cleaner now, and it just stays in there. But this cost £32, and it came with a roll mat to sleep on, and then I got a sleeping bag, which was another £20–30, and that was my house. That's what I lived in. I lived outside in that. And when I could find a place to put it, I put it down. You wouldn't put it near to other people where they could damage it or kick it over or set fire to it in the night, because people do that when you're homeless. They just attack you. You're not human. You're just like a rat or something that they want to get rid of. So most of the time you're sleeping in a hole in the ground, underneath a broken down car or in a skip, or you crawl into the shoe bin. That's another one. You can crawl back out of it, although you have to be thin. So it got me thinking. When people come over to this country on boats or in planes or however they get here, flipping teleport, it doesn't matter. When they get here and we accept that they're here, whether they're legal or not, that's not our problem. That's a paperwork issue, right? Whether they're legal or illegal is not for the residents to care about. It makes no difference to us. What does make a difference to us is how people behave when they come into our communities and the state of their life, if you like, the mess they leave behind them, and how they appear. It affects the whole place they live in. It changes the character of the town or the village that you're in. Which is why I suppose when I was homeless and I was living in and out of a tent, nobody ever saw it. It never got kicked, it never got burnt down, it never got seen, is why. Because when I became homeless, I was aware I was now a problem for the community, and I didn't want to be a problem for the community, so I kept out the way. On the few occasions when I was seen, I definitely wasn't seen begging or stealing or doing anything untoward. I was like using a toilet. I was going into Morrison's to have a wash in the disabled loo or something like that, and then buying a pack of Rizzlers on the way out, because all homeless people smoke. That's just a fact, and we all do, You can find cigarettes on the floor, you don't need to buy them. Buying Rizzlers, that's the only thing you need, because when you find stuff on the floor, you take it out and you put it in a new Rizzler. Homeless tricks, that's what we do. But back to the topic of the immigrants and the refugees that are coming here. Based on myself, trying to keep out of the way, trying to behave, not being a negative influence on the community, not bringing my problems to the community and forcing the community to solve them for me while I wait like this, it just wasn't a thing I would have ever considered. It's because I was brought up with the culture of this country, and on top of that I learned Christian morality, a second level of the culture, if you like. But that's the problem. The people coming here, they don't have that. They've got none of that. They've never had that in their upbringing. Their parents never had that. Their whole country never had that, right? So they don't have the option of that. So what they do is they turn up here, they think we hate them and we don't want them here, so they're immediately in battle and they need to fight for themselves, right? So automatically they're not trying to be nice to you and fit into your community. They have identified you as their enemy and them as an enemy of you, so they're fighting you from day one. And that's the reason they're like, we need 5-star hotels, we want this, we want that. It's not because they actually want that. Don't be fooled. If these guys were friendly to this country, if they were friendly to us, they would turn up like this and they would gratefully take a tent and some food. Which I had to buy for myself when I was homeless. You didn't see loads of people queuing up to protest the fact that I was living on the street through no fault of my own. My flat got burnt down. No one cared. I didn't expect them to care. Why would they? So that's how we have to feel about people coming here. First we have to realise we don't have to care. We just don't. It's not our problem. It's not our family. They're from a completely different country that hate us and our culture. So anything we do is generous and should not be criticised unless it's outwardly bad. So, from that position, we can start to be humanitarian about things and consider these people, despite the fact that they're a problem to us and they're often aggressive and rude, despite that, we're in a better position. We've got luxury, we've got the culture, we have the benefits of a Christian morality to teach us right from wrong. We had parents and stuff. So these people didn't. So the first thing we've got to do, before we start arguing about whether to put them in the Ritz Hotel or Delamar on the beach or putting them in a tent, we've got to figure out what is their goal to be here. Do they want to be here? Do they want to be part of our community and fit in with us? Because if the answer to that is no, then they're a terrorist, sympathiser, and an illegal immigrant that should be shipped out of here as quick as humanly possible for our own benefit and our protection and the safety of our nation. But if it can be proven that they are genuine and they do want to come here and accept our culture and values, they don't necessarily have to 100% parrot those values and do everything by those, but they have to do their thing alongside our culture. They can't do things which impact our culture in a negative way or overlay or cancel or upset things we've had traditionally for hundreds of years. No, we just cannot do that. So in conclusion, what should we do with all these immigrants? Should we put them up in tents? Should we put them in hotels? Should we put them on boats? Back on from one boat onto another? No, I don't think we should do any of that. First thing we need to do is realise the millions of people that are coming here, illegally or legally, they're not all coming here for the same reason, right? So you can't say they're all bad or they're all good or they all deserve the same thing. You can't say that. There's no equality yet because we don't know whether they deserve that. You know? Like Shamima Begum wants to come back into the country. Does she have equal rights to me, a newborn baby, and the king? Or not? No, I don't think she does, because she's demonstrated to be a traitor of this country. She betrayed all of us. And she actually saw people being beheaded, heads being put into buckets, and she was there, just didn't care. She was asked in an interview on the BBC whether she cared now, and felt remorseful. She said no, she didn't at all. She said those people deserve to die. She still feels like that now. So just think about that. When people are coming here, if they're complete strangers, like say a family from Gaza turn up here, and we know nothing about them, if they can demonstrate that they want to be here and they're not warlike and they can live alongside us, let's go all out and give them everything they need to become British citizens and protect them. However, if they are like Shamima Begum, whether they were born here or not doesn't matter. If they're not loyal to this country and they're looking to plunge the knife into the back of this country and us as residents, we need to say no to these people, and not only that, we need to write a list to make sure they can't re-enter under a different name in future, for our own security. And then when we get back to a scenario where we have home security and we have a culture that is settled and we don't have these radical elements pulling down the curtain from the corners trying to make the whole thing implode on us, we can all live happily. And when we're all living happily, we'll be much more likely to accept people from war-torn states or other countries, refugees, immigrants, illegal or not, and we'll treat them nicer, because it won't be a safety issue for us to do that. So I hope that gave you more to think about, and you just treat it with kid gloves in future when you're thinking about immigrants. This is the word that we got given, immigrants. They're not always immigrants. Some of them are just journeymen, travellers, holidaying. Some of them are terrorists who are just here for a few months on a campaign. You just don't know. So think about that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Watch as I get slaughtered in the comments now for saying what is effectively a moderate, commonsensical view. So like it or not, that's how I feel. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Have a good day, behave yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye now. Bye 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 bye.